Hello there. It is the 15th day of February 2022. My name is Cyril Aloysius, reaching you live here from Thav TV here in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Nigeria. And of course, it is my pleasure to bring you the newspaper headlines for today. But before I do that, we'll go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll bring you the headlines in full. Do stay with us. Okay, you're welcome back from that short break, and I'm taking you straight to the headlines. The first paper we shall be looking at for this morning is the Vanguard newspaper. And amongst the headlines in the Vanguard, we have drug bust, how NDLEA nailed, arrested DCP Kyari, 4 others. Drug bust, how NDLEA nailed, arrested DCP Kyari, 4 others. Suspended police chief implicated in 25-kilogram cocaine deal. Alleged to have bribed NDLEA men with $61,000 to retrieve seized drug. Exhibits replaces them with dummies. NDLEA declared Kyari wanted. NDLEA declared Kyari wanted after he allegedly shunned invitation. Police arrest Kyari. Others took them into custody last Friday. Police arrest Kyari. Others took them into custody last Friday. Handed them over to NDLEA. All right, another interesting headline here reads, Battle for Consensus Candidate puts APC National Convention at risk. Battle for Consensus Candidate puts APC National Convention at risk. That's on page 8 of the Vanguard. Another interesting one here reads, Sign Electoral Act Amendment Bill now. Sign Electoral Act Amendment Bill now. PDP governors tell Buhari, sign Electoral Act Amendment Bill now. PDP governors tell Buhari. That's on page 12. Another one here reads, WAEC, 48.61% obtained credit. 48.61% obtained credit in English, maths, 3 others. 48.61% obtained credit in English, maths, and 3 others. That's on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. Another interesting headline here reads, 2023, stop distracting Emefiele. Stop distracting Emefiele. Group warns politicians. Stop distracting Emefiele. Group warns politicians. That's on page 6 of the Vanguard. And next on the Vanguard, we have UNICEF calls for end to recruitment of child soldiers in conflict. UNICEF calls for end to recruitment in child soldiers in conflicts. That's on page 7 of the Vanguard. And lastly on the Vanguard, we have bad fuel. Flood market with petrol. Flood market with petrol. Marketers, others beg federal government. Flood market with petrol. Marketers, others beg federal government. That's on page 8 of the Vanguard. All right, that's the much we can take on the Vanguard. And moving next now to the News Direct, we have amongst the headlines, $61,400 cocaine bribe. $61,400 cocaine bribe. Inspector General of Police charges NDLEA to investigate officers. IGP charges NDLEA to investigate officers as police indict drug agencies officers for compromise. As police indict drug agencies officers for compromise. Hand over Kyari. 4 others for prosecution. Hand over Kyari. 4 others for prosecution. You can get all the details on that headline on page 2 of the News Direct. Another interesting one here says, Makinde approves appointment of Lekan Balogun as 42nd Olubadan of Ibadan land. Makinde approves appointment of Lekan Balogun as 42nd Olubadan of Ibadan land. Another one here reads, Ogun. Federal government pledges further support for Adaya business. Ogun. Federal government pledges further support for Adaya business. Insurance industry assets hits 2.1 trillion naira in 2021. And lastly, in the news direct, we have EFCC secures final forfeiture of landed properties valued at over 3.7 billion naira. EFCC secures final forfeiture of landed properties valued at over 3.7 billion naira. That's the much you can take on the news direct. Moving straight now to the Daily Sun. Amongst the headlines in the Daily Sun, we have APC chair race narrows to Al Makura Adamu Musa. APC chair race narrows to Al Makura Adamu Musa. CPC elements, governors, young party members push for favored candidates. CPC elements, governors, young party members push for favored candidates. You can get all the information on that headline on page 6 of the Daily Sun. Another interesting one here says, more trouble for Super Cop. Kyari linked to drugs cartel. More trouble for Super Cop. Lands in NDLEA custody for allegedly offering $61,400 bribe to secure release of drug deals. Police may dismiss officers involved. Police may dismiss officers involved. That's on page 4 of the Daily Sun. Another interesting headline here reads, over 8,000 child soldiers recruited by armed groups in Northeast. Over 8,000 child soldiers recruited by armed groups in Northeast. According to UNICEF, that's on page 3 of the Daily Sun. PDP, APC presidential tickets will determine Igbo destiny, according to Ohaneze. Pressure mounts on Atiku to dump presidential ambition. Pressure mounts on Atiku to dump presidential ambition. And lastly, on the Daily Sun, we have ASUU declares 1 month strike. ASUU declares 1 month strike. That's on page 8 of the Daily Sun. We will be looking at the Daily Trust, and amongst the headlines in the Daily Trust, we have heads to roll as NDLEA remands Kyari. Others. Why top brass worked to suppress case. Why top brass worked to suppress case. Anti-drug law officers also involved. Anti-drug law officers also involved. Embattled DCP can be tried immediately. Embattled DCP can be tried immediately, according to lawyers. Breakdown of video evidence. Breakdown of video evidence of DCP Abba Kyari's alleged involvement in drug trafficking. Breakdown of video evidence of DCP Abba Kyari's alleged involvement in drug trafficking. Students blast ASUU. Students blast ASUU. Federal government over strike. Threaten protest. Impeachment. Zamfara CJ inaugurates panel to probe deputy governor. Zamfara CJ inaugurates panel to probe deputy governor. EU announces 390 billion naira digital economy package for Nigeria. EU announces 390 billion naira digital economy package for Nigeria. And another interesting one here reads, adulterated petrol queues persist in Abuja, Lagos. Others. Adulterated petrol queues persist in Abuja, Lagos, and others. And lastly, in the Daily Trust, we have 2023 presidency. 2023 presidency. Allies defend Emefiele. Allies defend Emefiele. That's the much you can take on the Daily Trust. And moving straight now to the Nigerian Tribune, we have amongst the headlines, drug business. Kyari, 4 policemen arrested. NDLEA officials indicated. Kyari, 4 policemen arrested. NDLEA officials indicated how he negotiated release of 25 kilogram cocaine. How he negotiated release of 25 kilogram cocaine. Offered $61,400 cash, according to agency. Offered $61,400 cash, according to agency. That's on page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune. Another interesting one here reads, ASUU warning strike. ASUU warning strike. NANS threatens nationwide protest. NANS threatens nationwide protest. Blocks Federal Secretariat gate. Blocks Federal Secretariat gate. That's on page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune. APC convention. Zoning consensus stall. Zoning consensus stalls sale of forms as aspirants fume. Zoning consensus stalls sale of forms as aspirants fume. PDP governors to raise panel to examine Nigeria's security. Next headline here in the Nigerian Tribune, we have Zamfara CJ inaugurates 7-man panel to investigate deputy governors. 1 killed as smugglers. Custom clash in Ogun. 1 killed as smugglers. Customs clash in Ogun. That's on page 26 of the Nigerian Tribune. Moving straight now to the Punch newspaper, we have amongst the headlines in the Punch, drug business. Drug business. Police tackle NDLEA. Agency detains Abba Kyari for others. Police tackle NDLEA. Agency detains Abba Kyari for others. Fuel scarcity. Fuel scarcity. Armed policemen deployed to control queues. Another interesting one here reads, ASUU begins 4-week rollover strike. ASUU begins 4-week rollover strike. Governors oppose action in state varsities. Governors oppose action in state varsities. That's on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. And another one here says, federal government gross debt. Federal government gross debt to grow by 92%. Hits 136 trillion naira in 2026, says IMF. Says IMF. That's on page 19 of the Punch newspaper. And amongst other headlines, here we have Lagos robbers shoot businesswoman. Lagos robbers shoot businesswoman. Hospital demands police report. Victim dies. Lagos robbers shoot businesswoman. Hospital demands police report. Victim dies. And another interesting headline here reads, Fayemi dodges questions on 2023 presidential bid. Fayemi dodges questions on 2023 presidential bid. Says prayers ongoing. Says prayers are ongoing. And lastly, in the Punch for this morning, we have wife disagrees as husband testifies how spouse killed friend, dismembered body. Wife disagrees as husband testifies how spouse killed friend and dismembered body. All right, that's the much we can take on the headlines on today's papers. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Right about now, we'll go on another short break. And when we return, I will be joined by my lovely guest who will be talking on some of the headlines in today's papers. Do stay with us. All right, you're welcome back from that short break. And with me in the show today is Mr. Victor. Mr. Victor, you're welcome. Mr. Victor, I trust you must have been listening, you must have read the headlines in today's papers. Yes, and there are lots of interesting headlines, and we'll be talking on some of them, probably not all of them. I don't know which of them you really want to stress on.
Okay, I think we can talk about the ASUU strike.
Okay, yes. the 1 month warning strike by ASUU.
Yes. Okay, so they called it a 1 month rollover warning strike.
Yes.
And they also try to explain the fact that it's a rollover warning strike. That once the 1 month elapses,
Yes.
that they can continue.
That if the government doesn't respond
Yes.
according to how they want, okay.
Yes. So that it will roll over. Now, so we ask, what do they really want? They want Nigerian universities to be revitalized, meaning they want projects. They want projects to be done in schools.
Yes, they want the state of education in the country to improve drastically.
Yes, both infrastructurally, in teaching and in learning. They want the government to aid them with some amount of funds. Okay, now the issue now is Dr. Ngige, which is the Labour Minister, came out in December to say, guys, we've been giving you these monies in bits. We have limitations of giving you everything at once.
Bulk, yes.
Okay, but please, we are doing our best to give you guys. We gave you in August. We gave you in December during the interview with the press. But ASUU, they are saying that they need
this money in bulk.
Not just in bulk, but they need to speed up these things. And also, they talked about the payment plan, the IPs or the UTAs, the modality of using the software that they want to, or the method of payment. Okay, because that their emolument and salaries are being reduced drastically with IPs. That's IPs is more like a software the federal government are using to pay civil servants.
Okay.
But ASUU are saying that they don't want that method, that they've developed their own software that will enable the government to pay them what they deserve.
Okay.
Okay. The federal government on their own are telling them, okay, give us more time. Let's handle this. But ASUU on their own are saying this has to be taken care of, because since 2009, this agreement has been made since 2009.
Truth is, how much more time do they really need? Because
which of the parties?
The government, of course. How much time do they really need?
Well, like we know, they have a lot of things in their hands. Yes, it's no excuse, but
this is education we're talking about here.
Yes, yes.
It's education we're talking about here. Yes. If there's no proper educational structure in the country, how do we hope to produce better leaders of tomorrow?
Also, they are angry, and I'm also not against them being angry. Angry for the fact that they've been calling the government to come, let's have a meeting.
Yes.
And they've not showed up.
They've not showed up, yes.
There are bodies, there is
that's why they use the word dribbling.
Yes.
Say they are dribbling us.
Yes.
And they are dribbling.
So they say for this 1 month, in fact, they say even within 1 week, the strike can be called off within 1 week. If the government, they are able to come, let them talk.
Okay.
Okay? They don't want to go to, they say they don't want this strike to happen. But the government really pushed them to the wall, that they've been pleading, begging.
And there's another headline saying that students are actually planning on going on protest.
Oh yes, the students are not.
They are slamming the government. They are slamming ASUU for the 1 month strike.
Remember, most universities have not gone back to their normal calendar.
Just now,
they are still
struggling to meet up.
Yes,
and you want to go on another strike.
Yes, and also the state governments are not happy with ASUU, and they've given a command or a directive rather to state universities not to embark on this strike, because state governments are saying their universities did not sign any agreement with ASUU, that this ASUU debacle is against the government and not state universities.
Okay.
But I pray, please, within 1 week, 2 weeks, let them find a lasting solution and end this strike.
All right, that's the much we can take on that particular headline. Mr. Victor, about the Abba Kyari saga going on at the moment. You know, that's something that should. Yes. What do you think about that? Because it's a big one. It's a very big one.
I got the information about 5 p.m. yesterday that Abba Kyari, our future police head, has been arrested. Not on the hush puppy case that the FBI want to extradite him to the US,
Yes.
bring him to the US for crime against a Qatari school owner that hush puppy had already given out his name, that he's involved with that scam.
Wow.
The police had already suspended you. And just recently, they suspended you last year, and just recently, this year in January,
You're back again with another one.
you're back again. A suspended police officer,
I mean,
in another crime.
and this is something that you arrest people for.
Yes.
Where are we going
And
to in
this
this
is
country?
huge because we are talking about 25 kilograms of cocaine. And I bet you, well, they say he's innocent until proven guilty. But the video files are there.
Yes. You can't.
The video files are
videos
there.
can't lie now.
Yes.
Videos can't lie.
Okay, this there is a pipeline from Brazil, cocaine pipeline from Brazil, Ethiopia, and Nigeria.
Then to Nigeria.
The drug group, they were arrested, or will I say, he got the information that this particular cocaine is in Enugu. 25 kilograms of cocaine. So what did he do? He called some agents from NDLEA, say, okay, guys, we have this news or this link that this particular drug is here. We have 25 kg. What I want us to do, as in with the other officers, what I want you guys to do for me is that we want to pull out 15 kilograms out of the 25. We want to have 15 on for ourselves. Then bring a dummy cocaine, and add to the other original 10.
Okay.
So that the 25, when they measure it, to still be 25.
Okay.
And they can now go ahead and prosecute.
Wow.
So, can you get that?
I did.
So, but thank God, I say thank God that the officer that they wanted to use was able to go report the matter.
He was indeed a man of integrity.
My brother.
So, Mr. Victor, I don't know, because there's so much to learn from this story.
Okay.
Where are we going to in this country?
My brother, I wonder.
If a person of that caliber would actually get himself involved in a mess like this, something he would arrest people for on a normal day, does it mean that he's not well paid as an officer?
Look at the amount we are talking about. This is running in billions. What do you need what this money is for?
What could have led him to such an act after you have been previously suspended?
Yes.
For your involvement in a fraud scandal.
Yes.
By I think Hush Puppy.
Yes.
Shouldn't that be enough reason for you to, even if you had the intention of going into more crimes, shouldn't that suspension serve as a yellow card for you to say, okay, let me amend my ways before? And
the frustration is that this guy is the poster boy of the police. This guy has done real good things for this country, mind you. Abba Kyari is that man, that police officer, that when there is a major kidnap case, he'll be the one, his team, very strong and vibrant young men. He's just 46. So his team, very intelligent guys, and they go after kidnappers. They go to kidnappers, their dens, and they force them. I mean, these guys are too good.
But right now, at the moment, he has spoilt everything. He has spoilt whatever good he has been doing over the years. He has spoilt it. He has spoilt it. That's the truth.
Kyari was that one person that you can call up and say, guy, come and rescue me.
So what's the way forward now at the moment? What's the way forward? What do we do?
I don't know.
What do we do?
It's a very, very sad one. It's a very, very sad one. Because be like, man, who do you call up to right now?
Let's call on God. We call on God.
This guy rose. He rose so quickly because of his international awards. We are just coming in. The guy really fought for us. But along the line, I don't know. Love for money. What is he doing with 1 billion naira?
Is he not well paid? Is he not well paid? Well, Mr. Victor, that will be the much we can take on today. Thank you so much for joining us. And for you watching us, thank you so much for sticking with us. Without you, we would not be here. Thank you so much. And just in case you're not following us on our social media handle, please do so. On YouTube, it's at Thav TV. On Instagram, it's at ThavTV_NG. On Facebook, it's at Thav TV. And on Twitter, it's at Thav TV. Please do well to turn on your notification bells, your YouTube notification bells, so you would be notified whenever we come online and whenever we do upload our new videos. Thank you so much once again for sticking there. My name remains Cyril Aloysius, and until I come your way again tomorrow, stick with us.